YouTube, what's good, man? Your boy Marvin with elegantanomaly Reptiles. Back for another vlog for y'all tonight. As always, I appreciate I hadn't play and join me on these things. Notice I did say tonight. It is late in the snake room tonight. Just got finished feeding some grow-up snakes and some breeder males. And it's late. Figured, you know what? Let's do another kind of late night business rant, right? Some interesting things happening in the ball python industry community, whatever you want to call it, this week. Obviously there's this just tragic thing going on down in Texas with the weather and people having to bear that for an extended period of time. People losing animals, just all bad stuff, man. If you're from Texas and you happen to come across my video, man, my heart just goes out to you all, just struggling through that. Really, just this week for me was messaging some friends that live in Texas, that they're not in the reptile community or ball python community or anything like that, but just checking on them, man, making sure that they are right, making sure that their family's all right, because it was just rough, man. So once again, man, my heart goes out to you all down there struggling through that stuff. For those of you who lost animals, man, it's just a rough situation. So as you can see, I want to chat a little bit about obviously what Chris Searcy brought up and over Ball Pythons 101, Chris Searcy at Ball Pythons 101. And I'm not really going to touch too much on him specifically because I don't know him. That's not really my thing. If for those of you all that aren't up on what happened this week, if you want, go to the Ball Pythons 101 Facebook page. He basically said something that was insensitive over on his Instagram, and then he doubled down on that insensitivity with another post, and then he followed that up with an apology on his Facebook page. So you can go over to his Facebook page, and if you go to the comment section on that apology post, there are people in there that screenshotted his IG posts or comments, whatever, and you can kind of play that back. I'm not going to do that here. That's not what this is about. However, I do think that there are some really kind of key things from a business perspective that I took away from it that I want to bring up on the channel, and hopefully that helps you all out there in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because like I said on my other kind of business rant, was that the really great thing about the hobby, the industry, is that you can get into this with relatively low means and eventually start a business. That can be your goal, right? But sometimes in that, you get folks in that just, they're not business savvy, right? I'm fortunately blessed where I work in an industry, where in the financial industry, so I'm around, business owners, entrepreneurs, that type of thing. So I feel like I've learned quite a bit, and hopefully those experiences with working with people comes across when I deal with people who are interested in my animals, right? So, but like I was saying, sometimes you just don't have people that are that savvy, and they tend to say or do things that gives them a bad reputation, puts a stain on their business, and that's kind of what we have, right? So, really, kind of the first thing I would say to that is that really, like, the only time you take an L, whether it's in business or personally, is when you don't genuinely learn something. And I don't mean like learn something from like, oh, hey, point that out to you, this is wrong, type of a thing. I mean learn something and you go, man, like, I botched that was bad. And then you take that experience, that knowledge, and you move differently going forward. That's learning, because when you implement what you learn, like, that's the key aspect of it, right? So hopefully, I would say as he's taking this L, because he's taking an L, that he actually learns and grows from it, right? Yeah, a wise man once said, better to remain silent and to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt, right? This is just one of those situations where it really would have greatly benefited him to just say less, right? I mean, If you don't have anything positive to say about someone or anything constructive to add to help a situation, then I mean, just say less or say nothing. Like, just keep it moving. Unfortunately, when you don't do that, you bring these types of things on you. You really kind of shoot yourself in the foot. It's really kind of self-inflicted. So that would be like the first takeaway. The second takeaway is, obviously, I don't know if you all watched any of MJ from MJ Exotics Cartel, his thing where he had Chris on there and he had Brian Cusco on there and Billy from Mutation Creation on there, and those guys were given in the business, rightfully so. I'm not entirely sure of the relationships there, whether they had enough or significant of enough relationship where Chris wasn't just taking that in but really like taking it in with the thought and the idea of, I've got to take these people's anger and frustration with me and hurt and hear it, compartmentalize like it, and move differently going forward, right? On the way back home from a business trip a few years back, I sat next to a man on a plane. I normally, like, on a plane, am not like the type of person that has like strikes up conversation with people. I'm the hat on, earphones in, music blasting loud, whatever, like leave me alone type dude, right? But it was late. I was coming back from, like I said, business trip, and this gentleman was doing the same thing. And he actually was in furniture sales. He owned a furniture store, and he was coming back from basically kind of like a mastermind of other people who are in furniture sales around the country. There's a group of people. They all kind of get together. They run past each other, like things they're struggling with, ideas, and they just kind of network together and they help each other out, right? It's really good to have people like that in your circle, in your sphere of influence, because those types of folks also help keep you humble, right? Like in this, like there wasn't, in his comments, there wasn't much humility, right? So it's good to kind of have people that kind of knock you down a bit, because at the end of the day, like, the animals are the stars. We're not the stars. Like, we're the mouthpiece, but like they're the art. We're just the artists. Like they're the finished products. Like so don't get too full of yourself at the end of the day, right? So it's nice to have that circle. Like I said, I don't really know those guys' relationships with Chris, but hopefully he was able to hear it. The third thing I kind of want to touch on was like this thing that I saw kind of come up in some of his posts about integrity, and I thought that was really interesting, right? I think as I kind of sit here and think through like what it means to operate or move with integrity, it's really kind of, I think, something that everybody should kind of think through. Integrity to me is not just telling the truth about an animal or being honest about an animal or its health or its condition or its sex, whatever, or trying to operate your business just speaking the truth, right? As you can see in this example with what Chris is going through, he in a way says something that's true. I think we kind of understand that if you have a collection of any size, where you put quite a bit of money, hard work, sweat, tears into it, you can't just bring in animals, right? I think intuitively, like, we all know that, we all understand that, but you can. This was an instance, in my opinion, where you can say something true and still like be harmful and still be insensitive to what people who are hurting are going through and what they're experiencing, right? So integrity has to just mean more than just telling the truth, right? I mean, for me personally, I think some key kind of characteristics of integrity are being someone who moves with empathy and compassion, right? That's a huge part for me when I say of just loving people, trying to be like empathetic to what these folks down in Texas are going through. Like, you have people that are hurting, you have people that have lost animals. They've been like you, like me. They're pouring in their time, their energy, their effort into trying to create beautiful animals, right? And for some of them, it's gone. So you have to be someone who's, in my opinion, moving with empathy and compassion for other people. Like I said, we are dealing with animals, and we're not always just here just to sell people something, right? Like, I think it comes across whether or not you genuinely care about other people, right? And at the end of the day, like, people are gonna buy animals from people that they like. I mean, a lot of these projects, you have people that are running similar projects or whatever, and they may be able to just get the animal from someone else, and so, people buy from people they like. You got to understand that. So I think if you're always moving with not just, trust and honesty, but empathy and compassion are two kind of big ones. People feel that, right? They feel like if you have a conversation with them and you're trying to help them, like, think through maybe even their pairings or what they're, especially if they're new to the industry, like, think through like what they're doing from how they're going about setting up and establishing their animals, what projects they're in, and whether or not you get business from that. In the moment, people feel whether or not you actually care about seeing them successful, right? So, really try and move with empathy and compassion. The fourth thing I want to kind of bring up, last thing I'll say, is that on that page, man, on Chris's like Facebook page, in the comment section, you see a lot of cancel culture, and I am not the biggest fan of cancel culture. I will say that right now. It just really kind of annoys me, because at the end of the day, like, you have people on the flip side of that coin of empathy and compassion. Like, it's kind of a two-headed coin, right? Both sides say empathy and compassion. Whether I agree with you or not, I'm still going to try and be empathetic and compassionate to your situation, even if you shot yourself in your foot. Like, this is a situation where he's literally shot himself in the foot, like, and it's gonna hurt him from a business standpoint. I don't want to see his business fail. I don't want to see his business do bad. You do have to learn a lesson sometimes, and sometimes that lesson affects your pocketbook, it affects your business. But, like, I don't wish ill will on him. In that comment section, there's a lot of folks that were just like, man, like, he should lose everything because he made a mistake. Now, I will say this, there's a quote by Maya Angelou, and it says, and I hope I don't butcher the quote too bad, but people will forget what you did for them, but people won't forget how you made them feel, right? And this is one of those things, like, where people may forget over time. They may forget what he said or what he did, but there are some people where this is going to affect them, and it made them feel some type of way. Those types of people, they're not going to fool with him moving forward, and that's okay, right? Like, there are people in the hobby that may do something, may rub you the wrong way, makes you feel some type of way, and you just go like, I'm not going to fool with them because I don't have to, right? So, cancel culture to me, it's one of those things that says that people aren't redeemable, right? Which is really annoying, because, like, people are redeemable. Like, people are complicated. People aren't really black and white. People are various shades of gray. People require nuance, and people can change. People evolve. People grow. For me personally, I look at it like, man, like, if I'm not growing, then that should be like my last day breathing. Like, I mean, like, growth is like, we're here on this planet for such a short time, right? In the grand scheme of things, it's like we should constantly be growing and evolving. Always evolving. Anyways, but like, we really should be, man. So, whatever happens to his situation moving forward, man, like I said, hopefully he grows from it, hopefully he evolves from it. But, like, the flip side of that cancel culture, man, hopefully people in that comment section, hopefully y'all grow and evolve and give him the same type of empathy and compassion you would want if you were in his shoes and you said something foolish or reckless. And yeah, man, like, because at the end of the day, like, we're all just here to make dope, amazing animals, right? And yeah, I think I you know, this video is kind of getting a little long here, but those were kind of like some of the standout pieces to me that I feel like people can take away from his situation, people can learn from his situation, that I myself am going to take away from his situation, learn from his situation. And because we all need reminders, man. Like, we kind of get caught up in doing our thing and growing animals up and cleaning poop and feeding them and all the stuff we're doing over here, right? But from a relationship standpoint, this business, this hobby, this business, this industry is about relationships too. Relationships are very key. They're very vital. And, you know, whether or not, you know, you get along with someone or not, you don't want to intentionally go out of your way to rub people the wrong way, especially people who are going through a challenging situation. So, with that said, I'm going to kind of wrap up. Like I said, the video's getting a little long. I will say this, though, for those of you that may or may not have watched MJ over at MJ Exotic Cartels, his video, they did mention that there is a Facebook page. And on that Facebook page, there's a PayPal, I think, set up. So you can actually directly donate to that PayPal, and that money will be used to help people down in Texas, you know, help them some way, somehow, right? You can also donate animals. You can donate anything really to kind of help raise money for those types of things. So I'm also going to drop a link to that Facebook page down in the description below. If you can, go over there, just you know, give the page a like, follow it along. If you can donate money. If you can donate an animal, if you can do anything you can do, every little bit helps, right? So try to, you know, show those folks over there that they are in our thoughts and prayers, and that we're there trying to do as much as we can to help them out, right? So if you aren't following me on my other social media platforms, I'm on Facebook and Instagram at elegantanomaly reptiles. If you haven't done so on the channel, please do you know, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, like, share the video. I greatly appreciate it. Turn your post notifications on, so the next time I drop a video, you're aware of it. And no matter when you're watching this video, whether it's day or night, I hope you're having a blessed, fantastic day, YouTube. You guys be easy. Till next time.